cursing a fig tree. Matthew 21:18. As Christ traveled into Bethany, he saw a fig tree on his way. He observed it had no fruit, and cursed it on that day. He said, "Let no fruit grow on thee, henceforward forever." And the fig tree quickly withered, and from then on produced fruit never. When Christ's disciples saw it, they marveled at what they did see. And Christ said with strong faith and no doubting that they could do it like he. Christ also told them when praying that what they asked for they could receive. But for that result to happen, that first they must truly believe. Healing a demon-possessed man in Capernaum. Mark 1:21. While in the town of Capernaum, to the synagogue Christ would go. It was there upon the Sabbath that his message to all would flow. Such authority he would show in his teachings on that day, when suddenly a man cried out, asking why he had come their way. The man was possessed indeed by an unclean spirit inside, and Christ knew this evil spirit with this man could not abide. Jesus said, "Hold thy peace, and come out of him," to the man that to him did shout. And to the astonishment of everyone, from this man the demon got out. Loud sounds and shaking came forth from this man that all could see, and the miracle that happened, it would pass on to you and me. Healing a deaf man with a speech problem. Mark 7:31. While stopping in Decapolis, they brought Christ a man in need. The man could neither hear nor speak, and they desired Christ to perform a special deed. They wanted Christ to heal him, so he could speak and hear. Christ spit and touched his tongue, and took his fingers and put them in his ear. Looking up to heaven, Christ said, "Ephphatha," or be opened unto him. And behold, the man could hear and speak right away in front of them. Although he told them to tell no one, they instead would tell it all. And word of his great healing spread, on the ears of many it did fall. Healing a blind man in Bethsaida. Mark 8:22. When Christ came to Bethsaida, a blind man to him was brought. They desired Christ to heal his blindness, and for that reason he was sought. Christ led the blind man out of town, as he held him by the hand. He spit on his eyes and touched him, and asked if he could now see upon the land. The blind man said he saw men like trees, walking there in front of him. So Christ touched his eyes again, and then clearly he saw them. Catching a great multitude of fish. Luke 5:3. As Christ stood by the lake of Gennesaret, he saw two ships without men in each. He boarded a ship that was Simon's, and asked him to go out, that he might teach. After preaching to them his word, Christ addressed what he thought they sought. He said to Simon, "Launch out into the deep, and let down your nets for a draught." Simon said that they had toiled all night, and they had to bring their net in. But he said though they had caught nothing, at his word he would try it again. Simon let out his net, and much to his surprise, a multitude of fish were caught right before his very eyes. James and John, Simon's partners, they were astonished too. Jesus said from now on they'd be catchers of men, which is exactly what they would do. Raising the son of a widow from the dead. Luke 7:11. Christ came to the city of Nain, and as he approached its gate he did see a dead man being carried, with his mother weeping openly. For this woman Christ had compassion, since she was a widow, and he her only son. Christ went and touched the bier, and those with him stopped when it was done. Christ said to him, "Young man, I say unto thee, arise." And he who was dead sat up, and began to speak before their very eyes. Then those around were afraid when they saw what Christ could do. They said God himself had visited, and rumors spread through the region too.